Hey everybody, how y'all doing? It's Chris and Gia back again for another exciting episode, right? But get down to it. Y'all wanted to know what my eighth tip is that would force you to save more money every month, right? Here it is. You should have 2 days out of the week, at least two, where you spend $0. That's right, zero. Like you don't spend nada, not a dime, right? Not a single. You don't swipe that card one time. You don't use cash for nothing. $0. That whole day, 2 times out of the week. Now this is brilliant to me because what it does is that it forces you to cut back on certain expenses that you usually have all the time, right? Those knick-knack expenses like, eating out at your job or going out to eat, or maybe having that cup of coffee that you drink every morning, right? It forces you to cut back because on your 2 days when you can't spend, what are you going to do? Instead, you're probably going to pack you a lunch, right? And you're going to take that to work or take that to school or whatever. Or instead of like getting a coffee every day at Starbucks, maybe you brew your own coffee, right? Yeah, so it cuts back on those expenses that you and I both know over time they add up, over the course of the month. You're like, man, I just spent like 100, 200 bucks on all this frivolous kind of stuff that I could have saved on. So it's really interesting, and I like it because it does a multiple of things. Like, so for example, you're not likely, like let's say on Tuesday and Thursday, you don't drink coffee, right? You're not likely to go back on Wednesday and buy twice the amount of coffee just because you didn't drink on Tuesday, right? You're not going to do that. Who's going to do that, right? And you're not going to go on Monday and buy you an extra cup to save it for Tuesday, right? You're not going to do that either. And if you do, it's nasty. So don't do that, right? So what it does is it forces you to cut back on those things. On top of it, right? At the same time too, even if you do cheat, right? For example, let's say you cheat and say you go to the store and get you like a case of Diet Coke, right? On those days when you can't buy anything. Well, in actuality, you actually win too, because a case of Coke costs about like what, $5? And that's about the same amount it costs for that cup of coffee. So yeah, you're winning. It's awesome. So that's another way you're actually saving, right? And the idea is that as you go about your day, that day, not spending on anything, you start to realize that some of those things that you were spending on, you actually don't really need, kind of. You can actually get by. It's actually not as bad as you think it is, right? And so you start changing your habits, like your mindset starts changing. You start changing and adjusting your spending habits, which is the key thing towards long-term saving and long-term wealth building. So, and on top of that, it just goes with everything else, right? You're not going to double up on, like, if you didn't go to the movie on Tuesday, Thursday, you're not going to watch twice the number of movies, right? Or if you didn't go out with your friends at a happy hour, you're not going to drink twice as much the next time you do, right? You're not going to do that, right? So what it does is forces you to cut back. It forces you to start to evaluate your spending habits and change those habits and get your mind thinking more on wealth building and saving. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. When I saw it, I loved it. I like it. We're implementing it already. I told the wife it's happening. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, I hope you guys love it. I hope it was useful and valuable. If you did, check out my blog, chrisandgia.com. I got plenty of good stuff on there. And yeah, and plus, if you put your name and email in there, I'll give you the original 7 easy breezy ways that forces you to save more money. So until next time, I hope you guys are doing well. Got mad love for you, and stay hungry.